Editing course settings. This is part 3 of the series of videos on course settings. In this video, we'll be looking at the appearance settings, file and uploads, completion tracking, groups, role renaming, and tags. Begin by logging into your course, going to Course Administration, and Edit Settings. Begin by scrolling down to Appearance. Let's look at the Force theme. Currently, it's set to Do Not Force theme, and you see the AAPD Online theme with the burgundy and the AAPD Online logo. You can change the Force theme by selecting something different from the drop-down menu. For example, if I select Mississippi Bend and hit Save and Display, the Mississippi Bend theme appears. You can choose different themes that are already created, or if you'd like to, request a theme be created for you specifically. To do this, you will need to contact an AAPD Online team member. The next item, Force Language, allows instructors to select the preferred language that they would like the interface to appear on for students. In our case, since most of our users' preferred language is English, we only offer English as the option. News Items determines how many recent items appear in the latest news block on the course page. If it's set to 0 news items, then the latest news block will not be displayed. Let's take a look at what this looks like on the page. On the course page, you can see that in the latest announcements, there are 2 announcements. If you'd like to see older topics, you would select Older Topics. When you go to Course Settings and scroll down to Appearance, you can change the number there. Let's switch it to just 1 announcement. Save and display. When I go back to my latest news or announcements block, you can see that there's only 1 announcement present, the most recent one. If I click on older announcements, you can see that both are listed. Show gradebook to students is the next decision you will have to make. Many activities in the course allow grades to be set by the instructor. This determines whether a student can view or list all of their grades for the course via a grade link in the Course Administration block. Let's take a moment to see what this looks like. When a student logs into their course in their administration block, they'll see Grades. By selecting this, they can now go to their grade book and see what assignments there are and what grades they've received to this. Activity reports are another thing you can choose to have visible to students in the Appearance section. The reports are available for each participant to show their activity in the course, as well as listing their contributions such as forum posts or assignments submissions. These reports also include access logs. This setting determines whether a student can view their own activity reports via the profile page. If you choose this as yes, students will be able to view their activity logs. A student will log in, locate their name and profile. Once they've selected it, they will scroll down on their profile page to Reports. To view today's logs, they can select it. Now you can see everything that the user has done on that day, including viewing pages, updating course information, participating in forums, and much more. The File and Uploads options allow you, the instructor, to set the maximum upload size of files that students can submit to the system. This setting determines the largest file that can be uploaded to the course. Activity modules also include a maximum upload size setting for further restricting a file size. It's important to remember this, especially if you are having students upload audio or video files. Completion tracking. If enabled, activity completion conditions may be set in the activity settings of each activity or resource in the course. You can also set course completion conditions that must be met in order for students to complete the course. As an instructor of a course, another choice you will have to make is whether you want to place your students into groups. Groups come in handy for several reasons. 1, you can allocate a particular activity or resource to just one set or class of users and that you don't want them to see each other's answers or responses. This is particularly helpful if you have a very large group of students. It is also helpful because you can filter and sort your activities and gradebooks so you only see one class at a time. These are just a couple of reasons why groups may be something you want to use in your course. When you get to the group settings, you're going to have a couple of choices to make. In group mode, there are 3 options. No groups, where there are no subgroups and everyone is part of one big community. Separate groups, where each member can only see their own group and are invisible to other groups. And visible groups, where each group member works in their own group but can also see the group members' participation in other groups. The group mode defined at the course level is the default mode for all activities within a course. Each activity that supports groups can also define its own group mode, though if the group mode is forced at the course level, the group mode setting for each activity is ignored. The forced group mode. If the group mode is forced, then the course group mode is applied to every activity in the course. Group mode settings in each activity are then ignored. Finally, you have the default grouping choice. If groupings are enabled, a default grouping for course activities and resources may be set. Role renaming. Moodle uses a standard set of roles and names in its courses for participants. These include things like teacher, instructional designer, student. However, depending on your context, these names may not always fit appropriately. For example, thinking of the word teacher, it may be more appropriate to use words like facilitator, advisor, instructor, things like that. Likewise, with students, it may be more appropriate to use words like learner, advisee, mentee. All of these can be changed in a Moodle course under role renaming. However, it does not change the permissions that that individual role has. The only difference is that role will appear on the screen and in course listings. Currently, the last decision you have to make under course settings is tags. Tags are keywords that are assigned to a course so that the course can be found again by browsing or searching. Simply enter it into the field here and hit Save and Display. This will tag your course with keywords. Users will then be able to locate your course by searching for the tags that you've labeled it with. This concludes the third and final video on editing course settings. In it, we've covered the appearance, file and uploads, completion tracking, groups, role renaming, and tags.